sometimes the loudest thing isn't the sound, it's the silence. And this time, the silence of BTS's Jungkook made the whole world stop for a moment. Yes, with just one small update on his personal platform, he seems to be giving a subtle signal about something much bigger. His reaction to too crazy speculation about his personal life. But what exactly is going on? Why can a single upload ignite the coals of rumors that have long been smoldering in cyberspace? Let's take a breath, because this story is not just about an idol who is said to react. It's about how the public, the media, and even his own fans interpret every little move he makes. In a world where every emoji could be considered a secret code, Jungkook is now in the middle of a storm he never made but always had to face. It all started when Jungkook uploaded something that seemed ordinary. Just a light update, without long context, without captions that led to opinions. But precisely therein lies the sensation. In an instant, the media began fragmenting its meaning. Online forums exploded with theories, and fanbase accounts were busy tracing every word, every gesture, every expression. Some took the post as a form of code that Jungkook was alluding to a personal rumor that had recently resurfaced. The rumor, as is often the case in the K-pop world, has no hard evidence, but enough to provoke a wave of global speculation. Some say he was being sarcastic, certain parties, others judge he was just calming down in the midst of endless pressure. But what's interesting is how one simple act can evolve into a grand narrative that even exceeds the original intention. This kind of phenomenon shows how unique Jungkook's position is in global pop culture. He is not only an idol, but also a symbol. His every move was no longer private, it was public. And this is where the paradox arises. On the one hand, the world loves him for his sincerity, authenticity, and composure. But on the other hand, the world also reads it too deeply. As if every upload is a hidden message. Every silence is a statement. Industry analysts even comment on this. They mention that the public reaction to Jungkook is often greater than Jungkook's own actions. That is, even when he says nothing, he remains at the center of the global conversation. And it doesn't happen for no reason. In recent months, Jungkook has been the talk of the town for a variety of reasons, from his achievements as a global soloist to his personal life that is not free from extreme scrutiny. Rumors about who he contacted, where he was seen, even what he ate, all turned into the material of endless digital investigations. When these rumors again peaked, the fans began to feel anxious. They knew that Jungkook never liked to discuss his personal life. He always tries to separate Jungkook the performer from Jungkook the man. But the internet knows no boundaries. So when his latest update appeared, in a cooler and reflective tone, many interpreted that he was sending a message. Outrageous speculation. That's the term used by the international media to describe what happened. And the term is accurate. No other word can explain how rumors can grow so quickly from the collective imagination. But this is precisely where Jungkook's strength is seen. Instead of muddying the atmosphere with hasty clarifications or loud statements, he chose his own path, quiet but firm. Observers refer to this as Jungkook's typical passive-aggressive communication strategy. He does not deny outright, but lets his composure speak louder than the rumors themselves. And, as it turned out, the strategy worked. In a short time, the public conversation began to shift. From initially discussing whether the rumors are true, many have now begun to highlight Jungkook's elegant way of dealing with pressure. Fans praised her determination to stay calm in the midst of the storm. The media, which had previously provoked a sensation, reversed course, writing opinions about how wise Jungkook was in dealing with difficult situations. He managed to turn the narrative around from a victim of gossip to an example of maturity in the face of extreme popularity. However, the question remains the same. Is silence really a reaction? Or just a coincidence? Maybe we'll never know, because Jungkook, as always knows when to speak, and when to let the world interpret itself. But that's exactly where the attraction is. It's not just a pop star, it's a living puzzle that walks quietly in the midst of a global crowd. And every time the world thinks it has guessed, it goes back to making everyone wrong. Now, one thing is certain. In a world of speculation, sometimes the best way to react is to not react at all. And that's the art Jungkook has mastered more than anyone. As soon as Jungkook posted that update, no long words, no captions, just a simple visual with mysterious shades of grey, the entire K-pop world instantly thundered. The timeline is full of theories. Online media are competing to quickly interpret the meaning, and international netizens are competing to translate every movement and expression of the upload. In fact, if you think logically, there is not a single sentence that alludes to personal things. But such is Jungkook's magnetism. Even visual silence can turn into global headlines. Interestingly, some of Jungkook's old fans actually said that the post had a distinctive pattern, calm on the surface, but full of meaning for those who really understand his habits. In the past, whenever there was wild gossip circulating, Jungkook often showed silent language through small things. The songs he listened to, the emojis he chose, even his hairstyle that suddenly changed. All of this is not a coincidence, some fans say, but rather his subtle way of talking without talking. So when the latest rumors about her personal life started to heat up again, and suddenly this upload appeared, the public took it as an answer. But is that so? Or maybe Jungkook just wanted to express his mood at the time, without having anything to do with any gossip. This is where the interesting part comes in. Collective interpretations of cyberspace often create new meanings that the upload owner may never even have intended. As soon as the theory began to circulate, everything developed like a snowball. Some accused the post of a form of hidden anger, some said it was a sign of move on, while others speculated that it was just a symbol of fatigue towards the entertainment world that never stopped staring at it. And while many are aware of the absurdity of the situation, one fact is undeniable. Jungkook is one of the few public figures who can make a single post a pop culture phenomenon. He doesn't need words to trigger a global reaction, just one small gesture, and the world builds its own narrative. This is what makes Jungkook such a unique figure in the entertainment industry. His mysterious aura is not the result of a PR strategy, but a natural part of his personality. He does not like to talk about personal things, does not like to explain things that should belong only to him, and precisely because of this, the public keeps guessing. It's like an unsolvable puzzle, and perhaps that's what keeps it relevant amid the flood of digital information. However, if we pull back a little, the public's reaction to this upload suggests something deeper: the need for human beings to understand the figure they admire. In the age of social media, the gap between artists and fans is getting thinner, but on the other hand, the boundaries of privacy are also blurring. Fans want to know more, the media wants big titles, algorithms want thrills, and in the midst of it all, Jungkook just wants to breathe. He never asked for the rumor to exist. He only wanted to let his work and music speak, but the world always wanted to hear more of what he didn't say. Now, the big question arises. Has the modern entertainment world gone too far when one simple upload can change global public opinion? Or is this precisely the new reality, where silence becomes the most powerful form of communication? Jungkook will probably never answer it directly, but in a calm way, he seemed to remind us that not everything should be clarified. Sometimes, the most honest is between the blank lines, between the wordless emoji, between the soothing silence, and shaking the world at the same time. The funny thing is, every time Jungkook chooses not to talk, the world gets even more noisy. That's what happened this time. One simple post without context, without explanation, without a statement was immediately perceived as a hidden response to the rumors that were buzzing in cyberspace. People highlighted the color of her clothes, her facial expressions, even the shadow behind her that she said was symbolic. It could be. It's just a random photo. But since this is Jungkook, everything feels like a secret message. And indeed, over the years, Jungkook became known not only as an idol, but also as a figure with an interpretive aura. He is not the type to write long captions about the rumors that have happened to him. He prefers to speak through small actions, and that makes him even more unpredictable. For example, when he closed his live account suddenly first, the world guessed it was because of public pressure. But later on, it is revealed that Jungkook just wants to maintain his privacy and peace of mind. No drama, only human decisions want to live simpler. But for the public, everything has to have a big meaning. So, when outlandish rumors about his personal life resurface, the public awaits. Will Jungkook speak? He's not talking. But he uploaded something, and at that point, the interpretation broke in all directions. Some consider it a form of subtle satire. Others call it a sign that he already knows everything but chooses elegance. In fact, there is a theory that says that it is code for the army not to be consumed by wild issues. Interestingly, all of these theories emerged without a single word coming out of Jungkook's mouth. This phenomenon actually reflects something bigger than just celebrity gossip. It is about how modern society reads the meaning of the sobriety of a public figure. In a world full of digital noise, silence is the most striking action, and Jungkook unknowingly has taken advantage of that. He does not shout, does not argue, does not confirm, but the effect? Stronger than any official statement. It could be this is what makes the fans so connected to him. They feel Jungkook is not just a celebrity, he is someone who navigates public pressure in a human way, not reactive, but also not passive. He chose silence not because he lost, but because he realized that sometimes the truth does not need to be proven through words. And perhaps that's the most important lesson of all. When rumors go crazy, calm can be the most powerful form of power. So is the post really a response to wild speculation? Maybe yes, maybe no. But clearly, just one Jungkook upload was enough to make the public reflect. In an era when everyone is trying to explain themselves, is there still room for mystery? And if there is, maybe the name of the space is Jungkook. And right when everyone thought Jungkook would stay quiet, he didn't, at least, not entirely. In his latest social media update, fans immediately noticed something different. No words, no captions, just a calm, calculated post that spoke louder than any statement could. Whether it was the photo choice, the timing, or the expression he carried, it was impossible to miss the undertone. Jungkook knew what people were saying. The speculation about his personal life had reached a point even fans described as outrageous. Wild theories, fake narratives, and exaggerated stories had begun to circulate, trying to decode who Jungkook spends time with, what he wears, and even what his smallest gestures might mean. Yet, instead of responding with a direct message, Jungkook did what he always does best. He let his presence do the talking. Observers noticed how meticulously curated his post was. The setting appeared minimal, the lighting neutral, but the composition intentional. His gaze wasn't soft or defensive. It was grounded, deliberate, and clear. It was as if he was saying, "I see it all, but I'm not entertaining it." This isn't the first time Jungkook has handled public scrutiny with quiet precision. Whenever rumors or personal speculations arise, he tends to maintain professionalism, no outbursts, no denials, just subtle moves that remind everyone where the line is. In an era where social media magnifies every detail of celebrity life, Jungkook's restraint has become one of his strongest forms of expression. Fans immediately rallied behind him, noting how his updates seemed to redirect focus. The comments section filled with supportive messages emphasizing respect for privacy and admiration for how he carries himself through pressure. Even major media outlets began to highlight how Jungkook's post appeared to be a strategic, graceful response, a visual statement that dismissed noise without confrontation. In a landscape where speculation can spiral uncontrollably, Jungkook's response stood out as controlled, subtle, and definitive. He didn't need to clarify anything. By simply being himself, calm, intentional, and unbothered, he reminded everyone that sometimes silence is not avoidance, it's power.